How Ronaldo went from rags to riches. Everybody knows who Cristiano Ronaldo is. After all, his legacy transcends continents and niches. From being crowned the best footballer in the world 5 times and scoring over 850 goals in his career, to having over 550 million followers on Instagram, there are just a few records he has not broken. And let's not forget how rich he is, with the lucrative deals with the biggest sports labels in the world, and owning his label, Ronaldo is surely richer than most. However, one thing needs to be said. Ronaldo has not always been this rich. In fact, Ronaldo was the opposite of filthy rich. Shocker? I know. Here is the story of a little boy who often begged for food, becoming one of the most successful and best football players the world has ever seen. Not just that, here's the literal grass to grey story. Sit back, keep your eyes glued to this space, and stay tuned. Ronaldo's story begins on a small island of Madeira in Portugal in 1985. Born on February the 5th of the same year, his parents even considered an abortion, as they were penniless and could not afford to feed 3 children before Ronaldo came by. But thankfully, they didn't follow through with the plan. However, the reason they considered this option was justifiable. Ronaldo's father, José, was just a gardener and the official kitman for the local club, Club Futebol Andorina. When Ronaldo was 3 years old, his father began to take his son to the club during work hours. This was where Ronaldo encountered football for the first time, and where he must have started kicking the football. This must have been where his obsession with football started, and watching footballers train every day must have motivated him to improve himself every day, even at that age. By age 10, Ronaldo was miles above his peers, earning him a move to Nacional Madeira, the biggest regional team. He won the youth championship in his first season there, and everything was going well with football. But at home, it was a different story. Ronaldo's father was often drunk, which meant that the little money they had was getting even smaller. Pushed to the wall, Ronaldo decided he would not go hungry. Footballers need to eat after all. He usually went to request for free burgers at the nearest McDonald's. One wonders how proud the franchise would be now, having contributed to the footballer at such a young age. In 1997, Ronaldo got a chance to play in the trial match at Sporting Lisbon, among many other skillful 12-year-olds. Lisbon scouts are rarely ever impressed, but something strange happened. One of them saw much potential in this lanky little skillful boy who kept passing opponents like they were not there and decided to sign him up instead. Little did Ronaldo know how difficult that would become after a while. Ronaldo faced a lot after getting signed, from getting taunted due to his accent to being alone at such a young age. Young Ronaldo was going through it all. At one point, he even decided to find his way back to Madeira and continue training from home as usual. However, due to his determination, which was rare for people his age, his coaches persuaded him to stay, and he decided he would not disappoint them. His coaches were blown away by his never-give-up attitude and professionalism, and he was always the first on the pitch and the last to leave training. Also, as he was skinny and lanky, he started putting in more hours in the gym. However, disaster struck when everything was going well. He was diagnosed with racing heart syndrome. His heart was constantly beating fast, even when he wasn't on the pitch. 15-year-old Cristiano Ronaldo was devastated and wondered if his career was to end this way. However, his family opted for an operation instead, and as fate would have it, it was successful. Ronaldo was back on the pitch in 3 months, doing what he loved most. Not long after, on August 14, 2002, Ronaldo was able to make his first appearance for Sporting Lisbon, coming on as a substitute at the age of 17. For many, they saw a boy ready to show the world what he had been building since he was 3 years old. But Ronaldo was just getting started. Coaches and fans alike were impressed by his tricks and flicks, and rumors of getting picked up by bigger teams started to fly. After a friendly against Manchester United, then United coach Ferguson decided to sign him on August 12, 2003. And then Ronaldo's dream to be the best player in the world was finally on track. For Manchester United, they had no idea they had just signed a player who would define the club for years to come. After initially requesting his number at Sporting, 28, Ferguson, impressed by his ball skills, decided to give him the legendary number 7 instead, which had been worn by club legends such as Cantona, Best and Beckham. Ronaldo then made his debut on August 16th and was earning over $2 million. The poor boy from Madeira had finally made it to the big leagues after begging for burgers. However, trouble was brewing at Manchester. Because of his skillful play and lanky frame, Ronaldo became a target for many bad tackles and was always blamed when his team lost matches. United would finish 3rd that season, but Ronaldo would prove his doubters wrong in the FA Cup final by opening the scoring against Millwall. Finally, he had won his first trophy, and this was surely just the beginning. But his involvement in Euro 2004 with Portugal would shatter his heart. In the summer of 2004, Ronaldo was called up to the national team for the Euros, hosted by Portugal, alongside legends like Deco and Figo. Ronaldo would play his way into the squad as they progressed further in the tournament, buoyed by the home crowd. However, they would make it to the final, where they suffered a heartbreaking loss to less favorites Greece. Ronaldo and his team were devastated. In the 2 years that followed, Ronaldo became the top performer for United. He performed brilliantly in his second season at the club, having developed himself in the gym and on the training ground, developing a technique called knuckleball. And he would win his first championship that season, and the next before reaching the Champions League final against Chelsea. He scored in the 26th minute, but Lampard would equalize to send the tie to penalties. Ronaldo would miss his spot kick, but Terry would also miss, and Van der Sar would save the next one to give Ronaldo the first Champions League trophy. Having scored 42 goals that season, Ronaldo was now a hot-shot football player. He would, however, injure his ankle badly the next season, prompting many to believe he was finished. He proved his doubters wrong by scoring a stunner against Porto. By 2008, he won the Ballon d'Or, becoming the best player in the world. The next season, United won the championship again and reached the Champions League final, losing to Barcelona. After winning 8 trophies, Ronaldo left United for Real Madrid for 94 million euros in 2009. In his first season in Spain, he hit 33 goals and yet finished without a title. His second season saw him win the Copa del Rey and the championship, respectively. However, Madrid would keep failing at the semi-final of the Champions League, while their rivals Barcelona were easily picking up the trophy. It was at this time that Messi won the Ballon d'Or 4 times in a row, leaving Ronaldo disappointed. Madrid needed to win their 10th Champions League to stake the claim as the greatest club in the world. After winning his 4th Ballon d'Or, they got into the Champions League final against city rivals Atletico Madrid, in the city where Ronaldo's journey began, Lisbon. Atletico Madrid took the lead early in the match, and just when it was looking so bleak for Madrid, Sergio Ramos stepped up with a sublime header to equal the scores. Ronaldo would score in extra time along with Bale and Marcelo to pick up the title they'd been waiting for over 10 years. He would win the coveted trophy 3 more times alongside many other trophies, while scoring a record 451 goals in 438 games before deciding to leave the Spanish capital. However, there was a success on another front, one he had lost years ago, the Euros. Ronaldo and Portugal stumbled through the group stages, needing luck to get into the knockout rounds. They somehow reached the final, led by a stuttering Ronaldo. However, it was agony for Portugal, as Ronaldo was stretchered off in pain and tears after getting clattered by Payet. Ronaldo refused to leave the stadium after, deciding to help his team from the sidelines. It seemed like Euro 2004 was repeating itself. In the 109th minute, Eder made Portugal champions of Europe, and Ronaldo won his first title with his country. After leaving Madrid in 2018, Ronaldo joined Italian powerhouse Juventus. Being 33 at the time, Juventus shelled out 100 million euros to bring him over. Never before had so much been paid for a player that was over 30. As always, Ronaldo guaranteed goals, even in the Champions League. In a Champions League fixture against Atletico Madrid, Juventus had lost the first leg by 2 goals, and it seemed like the fixture was over. However, Ronaldo would have the last say, banging in 2 goals and adding a penalty for good measure to shock his former city rivals and send Juventus into the next stage. In 3 years, Ronaldo had won 5 titles in Turin, but the dream of the Champions League proved elusive once more. After getting disillusioned, he decided to move back to the theatre of dreams, Manchester United. But what began as a fairy tale ended as a nightmare. After his first season back at United, which was full of stops and starts, his second season was nothing to write home about, especially with a changing coaching staff. Erik ten Hag, who had replaced Rolf Rangnick, constantly left Ronaldo on the bench. By November 2022, Ronaldo and the club parted ways. But that was not just the end for Ronaldo. On January 1st, 2023, after the World Cup in Qatar, Ronaldo signed with Al Nassr. now earning 200 million. Now was the time to say that his days of poverty were over. He had dominated football, built himself as a strong brand, and defined the football landscape along with Messi. Some players are good dribblers, some are good strikers, some are fast, and some are great in the air. Ronaldo was all of them at once. He has scored more goals than Griezmann, Salah, and Bale combined, and won over 32 titles with club and country. Today, if you think anything is impossible, you only need to look at Ronaldo's life. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and turn on your notifications. You wouldn't want to miss out on any juicy secrets of your favorite footballers.